Good day, and how has your week been? We'll be looking at the third lesson in our Sunday school. Priests represent God over his people. Our objectives in this lesson are to show that God is the one who installs priests to administer his people and can also remove them when he wills according to his own eternal purposes, and to show that all believers are God's priests through Jesus Christ, and we must properly represent him wherever we are. We will be looking at 4 priests that served God at different times in Israel, 2 who served after Aaron, and 2 who served before Solomon's temple. So in the first part of our lesson, we are looking at 2 priests after Aaron. The first is Eleazar, the son of Aaron. Aaron was God's first consecrated priest in Israel, but God instituted the priesthood in such a way that priests will always exist. The priests are human, and hence at some point in time, and for some reason, they would need to be replaced. So God instituted priests to be replaceable. It was time for Aaron to leave the scene, and he would not be entering into the promised land. So God was putting an end to his time as priest. His absence, however, would not be leaving a vacuum, because God had already prepared Eleazar his son to enter into his shoes. So we are told, Moses stripped Aaron of his garments and put them on Eleazar his son. This was according to God's instructions. It was after this that Aaron died. God will not consult anyone before he replaces his priests. He took out Nadab and Abihu, Aaron's sons, when they erred. So the priesthood is not an institution of man, but it's of God, who also supervises his institution. The second part of the division says, Phinehas' exploits. After Eleazar, Phinehas was the next priest. He was Eleazar's son and the grandson of Aaron. Although he was in line for the office of a priest, he also did exploits that brought him into favor with God. In Numbers chapter 25, the children of Israel were committing harlotry and idolatry with the Moabites. God was angry, and a plague came upon the Israelites. 24,000 people died in that plague. In the midst of these calamities, an Israelite brought in a Midianite lady in the full glare of all worshippers. Phinehas did not hesitate to go ahead and kill them both. Immediately, God's anger was turned away, and the plague stopped. Phinehas acted zealously, following the instruction of God. His bold action was approved by God. Phinehas chose to stand for and with God, and God used him. This was unlike his uncles, who did wrongly and faced the wrath of God. When we choose God, he approves of us and makes us his instruments. God has not stopped raising ministers for himself. He has continued to do it through generations. He raised Noah to build the ark, Abraham to raise a nation, Moses to give the law, David to rule in righteousness, Nehemiah to build the walls, and Isaiah to foretell the future, John to prepare Christ's way, and through Jesus Christ, he has been raising us as a royal priesthood today. We are God's priests through Jesus Christ, and we should focus on pleasing him. In summary, we have learned that the priesthood is an avenue through which God is represented among his people and by which he administers them. Secondly, God does call us to be his ministers, and when he calls us, we should work to satisfy him and not our own desires. See you again in the coming week. However, to ensure that you get notifications early when subsequent videos are made, don't hesitate to click on the subscribe button. God bless you.